Et bien sûr, chez DHL en Belgique, c'est la consternation après cette collision en plein ciel. Émotion également à la suite de la perte de 2 collègues, Nathalie Devic.
Au siège de DHL à Bruxelles ce matin, l'incompréhension, le partage à la tristesse. C'est le premier accident en 33 ans d'existence. Le pilote, un Anglais de 47 ans, père de 3 enfants, et son copilote, un Canadien de 34 ans, marié également, étaient parmi les plus expérimentés de la compagnie.
Ce matin, ils auraient dû atterrir ici à Zaventem. Et bien sûr, tous les collègues ici les connaissaient bien et tout le monde est en état de choc.
Deuxième incompréhension, tout avion pénétrant l'espace européen, quelle que soit sa nationalité, doit être équipé du Traffic Collision Avoidance System, un système permettant d'éviter les collisions.
Ça fonctionne normalement si les 2 avions ont le même système et si les 2 systèmes fonctionnent, parce que là, on a pas seulement l'information, il y a quelqu'un qui est trop proche, mais aussi où il se trouve. Ce qui donne notre pilote la possibilité de virer, de réagir pour éviter la collision. En cet instant-là, nous savons maintenant, et bien sûr je ne peux pas spéculer, mais ce que nous pensons, c'est que notre système a fonctionné, notre pilote a été averti, il devait réagir dans 2-3 secondes, mais il ne savait pas où l'autre avion se trouvait.
Stupéfaction et tristesse aussi chez DHL, la société qui avait affrété un des 2 avions. L'appareil faisait route vers Bruxelles, où se trouve le quartier général de DHL Europe. Fabien Namur avec Paul Claas.
1h30 cette nuit, la nouvelle de l'accident arrive ici, au siège mondial de DHL à Bruxelles National.
Mais la première chose que mon collègue m'a dit, Axel, c'est pas un exercice aujourd'hui.
Le personnel est sous le choc ce matin. 2 pilotes de la compagnie sont morts. Ici, on les connaissait très bien.
Si on n'aurait pas eu ce terrible accident pendant la nuit, cet avion avec les 2 pilotes aurait arrivé ici. Et tous les collègues ici les auraient vus.
Et aujourd'hui, DHL ne remet pas en cause le travail de son pilote.
Le capitaine, c'était un Anglais, Paul Phillips, âgé 47 ans. Qui a été chez nous depuis plus que 13 ans. Il avait plus que 10 000 heures d'expérience de vol.
DHL exclut également tout problème technique sur l'avion. Le Boeing 757-200 volait depuis 12 ans. Il sortait d'un contrôle technique approfondi. Mais ce matin, le personnel pense avant tout aux victimes.
Nos sentiments sont avec les familles, bien sûr, de nos pilotes, mais aussi des familles des passagers et de l'équipe de l'avion russe. Et c'est un accident tragique.
Let's return now to the air crash in southern Germany that happened overnight. One of the 2 planes involved was a cargo jet operated by DHL. I'm joined now on the line from Brussels by their spokesman, Axel Gietz. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Can you tell us about what you know about what happened?
Yes, certainly. Before I do, I think it's appropriate to extend our condolences to the victims and to the families of the victims, both our 2 pilots, but also the many, many passengers and crew on the Russian aircraft. As things stand now, this is what happened. Shortly before midnight last night, this terrible collision took place in southern Germany over the little town of Überlingen. Our plane was a Boeing 757-200, which was flying its routine nightly flight from Bahrain in the Middle East with a stopover in Bergamo to Brussels, from where I'm talking to you now, which is our corporate headquarters. Whereas the Russian plane was obviously en route from Russia to Barcelona, I believe. Half an hour ago, I had the Minister of Transport for Baden-Württemberg, which is the region where the accident happened. I had him on the phone and he confirmed to me the following. Air Traffic Control Zurich, who are in charge of the airspace where the accident happened, repeatedly contacted the Russian pilot and asked him to change his altitude because he was obviously somewhere where he shouldn't have been. He did not react to these repeated warnings. At the very last minute, our pilots were then alerted to the imminent danger through the traffic collision avoidance system that our planes have on board. I do not wish to speculate whether the other plane had it too, because in order for that to work, you need to know where the other guy is in order to be able to avoid crashing into him. So our pilots were alerted that there was something out there. They tried at the very last minute to avoid the collision, but obviously it was too late and the tragic accident happened.
You say that they had some warning at least. How long would they have actually had?
There's no telling how long they would have had. I mean, this is a matter of seconds probably, if you think of the speed at which these airplanes travel. This is something that has never happened in the 33-year history of DHL. We're shattered here. They were both very, very experienced pilots. Captain Phillips, a UK national, had been with us for more than 13 years. The co-pilot, Mr. Campioni, a Canadian national, also for a number of years. Captain Phillips had in excess of 10,000 flight hours. It doesn't get more experienced and better than these two pilots were. And to have lost them in such a tragic way is something that we will not forget for a long, 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 long time.
Clearly a very sad morning indeed for you. Thank you very much indeed, though, for joining us. Thank you.
Cargo company DHL says their plane did descend. For whatever reason, the Bashkiria pilots did the same.
In Europe, every plane that flies must have the system on board. All our planes do. It only works if both planes have the system and if on both planes the system works. Because otherwise all our pilots get is the signal there's somebody out there, but they don't know where.
So many questions.
Well, the cargo plane operators DHL gave this reaction to the events surrounding the mid-air collision and the statement by Swiss air traffic controllers that the Russian plane reacted too slowly.
Repeatedly, they contacted the Russian pilot and asked him to change altitude because he was flying at a level where he should not have been. Now, the Russian pilot never responded to those warnings from air traffic control, and by the time our pilots, through this warning system, were alerted, they had a matter of 2-3 seconds maybe to react, and obviously it was too late.
And we're joined now by Axel Gietz from DHL, who's standing by in Brussels. Mr. Gietz, is there more you can tell us about the investigation?
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to say that in a situation like this, our condolences go out to all those affected. Our hearts go out to the victims and to their families, and I think this is the first and foremost reaction and thought. Of course, it's been a long day. What we do know now is that there seems to have been some communications issues between the Zurich-based air traffic control people and the pilot of the Russian plane, who apparently did not respond to their contacting him and asking him to change the altitude at which he was flying. At the same time, we can say that our plane was equipped with this system that warns the pilots of an aircraft that is too close for comfort, the Traffic Collision Avoidance System, TCAS, that has been widely quoted in the course of the day. Now, it is required by law that planes flying in Europe have this. All our planes do, of course. If the Tupolev also had it, and I'm not speculating whether it did or not, those two systems should have communicated with each other. Basically, one system telling the other, you know, I will go up and you will go down, and thereby will avoid the crash. This did not happen. And why it did not happen is for, obviously, the experts on the scene to find out.
But do you think that this has perhaps highlighted a worrying weakness in the traffic collision system?
As I say, I don't wish to speculate, and I think it's too early to be drawing, you know, final conclusions from this terrible, terrible accident today, or rather last night. It would appear that at night, with so much less traffic in the air, if planes keep to the corridors, as it were, and the altitudes that are given them, there should be no issues. Now, our pilots were exactly where they should have been, which is why air traffic control never had a reason to contact them. Whether this raises wider issues on air travel security, I really at this point don't want to speculate about.
Well, Axel Gietz, thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight live from Brussels.